With us now, Time Magazine's Washington Bureau Chief Jay Carney. Jay, it seems that John McCain is once again in the role that he covets, and that is the underdog role. You think we're going to see a change in his campaign tactics because of it?
Well, I think we've seen just in the last 24, 36 hours, Joe, a pretty dramatic shift, resetting of the campaign away from the sort of persistent attacks on Barack Obama's character, away from the questions about his associations.
John McCain, the happy warrior.
Back to John McCain, the happy warrior. And I think last week when I was on the show, we talked about whether or not he would make this pivot at some point. And you made the point that campaigns, presidential campaigns in particular, tend to go more positive towards the end. This is a little earlier than normal. This is 3 weeks out. And I think it's because he's been hit so hard and been criticized so directly, not only by Democrats and the Obama campaign, but by Republicans for this negative tone and the sort of incoherence of his message. So I think the interesting thing about McCain is to win or lose, his reputation's at stake, Joe. He doesn't want to, if he goes back to the Senate, he doesn't want to go back as the grumpy, disgruntled, angry candidate who lost the presidency or lost the presidential election. He wants to go back as the old John McCain, more or less, who fought the good fight and lost. Or if he wins, he's going to have a lot of damage to repair. He's starting to do it now, I think.
Right. Mika.
You know, I just wonder, and Chuck, chime in, and you can take it to Jay, but if now, because we're seeing another shift with John McCain away from what some are calling negative or nasty or despicable tactics, others would say it was just fair and it didn't work. And then there's sub-conversations we can have about whether or not that was all fair. But we're seeing another change in tone by John McCain. And is that feeding into this concept, I hate to use the word that the Obama campaign's putting out there, of erratic?
Well, I think that's something that I think the McCain campaign is fearful of, and you talk to other Republicans, they seem to be concerned that there just isn't a strategy with the McCain campaign, that it is all tactics, and everything has been, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, but there hasn't been a big picture idea. But Jay, I want to ask you a question. You guys had an interesting cover about, is the economic angst trumping race? This economic proposal by McCain seems to be all about seniors, and seniors seem to be the last part of the Democratic coalition that was not moving over to Obama, and that is actually, that has been the shift. That is what has taken basically small leads for Obama and turned them into big leads. So is this what McCain is about, trying to get these white seniors, older white voters, back into his column?
I think you're absolutely right, Chuck. I mean, if you look at just what you said, that they were the most hesitant part of, let's say, the Bill Clinton coalition, the traditional Democratic coalition, to join the, jump on the Obama bus, and I think they're the most gettable or persuadable for McCain. There's a lot of, uncertainty about whether Obama is qualified to be president, is the right person to lead the country. In states like Florida, states with a lot of senior citizens who vote and reliably vote, Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, older states that could be battleground states that could keep John McCain in this race. There are a lot of those voters, and they can counteract some of the surge among youth and minorities that Obama's expecting.
Jay, is there a sense of doom among among Republicans? Do they think McCain's lost it, that the Senate's going to...
The apocalypse, Armageddon, there's a little of that. Absolutely. There's a lot of, there's fear, there's palpable fear that's sort of the other hand of fear that we're experiencing with this financial crisis, is a fear down ballot among Republicans that McCain's going to take not just the White House away from them, but take seats they shouldn't have lost in the Senate, they shouldn't have lost in the House, and produce a terrible blowout.
And they fear that Americans will agree with Sheryl Crow, that a change will do you good. All right, Jay Carney.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You
Greatly
bet.
appreciate it as always. Look forward to talking to you again soon.